What do we know when we know a language? Well, you know that you can speak it and others will understand you, and you will understand others. Everyone knows a language, children and adults, even though this ability requires profound and complex unconscious knowledge. You know what sounds belong in your language and what don't, what sounds are okay to start a word and to end a word. You know that certain sound sequences, that is words, stand for particular concepts, even though there may not be a logical relationship between the sound and the meaning. For example, chocho, papillon, mariposa, farfalla, schmetterling, babochka, all mean butterfly. And those sounds couldn't be more diverse, you know. This explains why it's often so hard for a second language learner to remember the words of the target language when he first encounters them. There's simply no connection between the sound and the meaning until those connections are created through experience with that word over and over in different contexts. When you know a language, you can combine words to form phrases, phrases to form sentences. You can understand and create completely original sentences, ones that have never been spoken before, perhaps. With your linguistic knowledge, you can judge what combinations of words work as a sentence and what don't. Okay, so this sentence... I can read my bad writing. Does it all fit in the screen? Mm-hmm. Okay. John is difficult to understand. So we can change that around to say it, is difficult to understand John. Right? Okay, take what looks like the same structure as this first sentence and see what happens when you try to do it. Do the same thing. John is eager to go. Can we say it is eager to go, John? No, that doesn't fit. And yet, it's a pattern that we should be able to do based on this, by analogy anyway, based on what we have in this one. But we intuitively, or by our language acquisition experience, we native speakers of English know that you can't say that, right? Okay, even though the words of most speech, this is another issue, the words of most speech run together automatically. You know where the words begin and the words end because you know the language, right? You know the words in your lexicon of your language. You know which sounds in your language can begin words and which can end words, right? You know what words are likely to combine with others. For example, in the phrase, a piece of cake, right, a piece of cake. Well, the of is hardly there in my speech stream, but you know it's there. It has to be there. I wouldn't say a piece of cake unless I was not a native English speaker, perhaps, in my process. So you know the language, and you know that has to be there, even if it's inaudible. So when you know a language, to recap, you know what sounds belong in it, you know how those sounds can combine to make words, and you know the rules that govern the way words combine to make sentences.